Yep, can see it now.
Excellent. Okay, well, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Digital Coats of Paint. This morning, we're going to do just a couple quick things. The first thing we want to do is go over one of the new Rich Media mobile ad units, which is now live and is able to be scheduled. So we're going to review the first impression mobile ad. And the second thing we're going to cover is we're going to do a quick whiteboard exercise with you. So if anyone has a whiteboard they want to do, please keep that in mind when we get to that point. And if you want to go ahead and talk about that whiteboard, that needs assessment, we can cover that. Otherwise, we've got an exercise we can do. But we really want everyone to think about whiteboarding and how that really is such a beneficial part of what we do and such a crucial part of the process. So without further ado, here's the agenda again. First, mobile ads. First impression mobile ads. We're going to show you guys some examples and then how to book them. There's actually some instructions that we'll send out at the end of this session on how to book them in Ad or Order Hub. And then also whiteboard exercise, as I mentioned, we'll do that, and then we'll open it up for any Q&A at the end. So the first impression mobile ad unit is, again, now, as I mentioned, it's now available. It appears to every mobile unique visitor once per day. So when the person goes to the our mobile sites, they will see this ad once per day. So it's effectively owning the first entry onto our mobile web content for that day. So when someone's going onto our mobile websites, they're going to see this ad unit at the very first time they log onto it. It is really a great premium ad position, and it's really also meant to be coupled with other premium positions. So for example, if you had a desktop Rich Media ad unit, this is a great addition to that. And it is exclusive for the day. So it really should also be considered like an incremental revenue opportunity. Shouldn't really stand on its own. It should be added on with other, digital plans for that specific customer. It's going to work with any of our third-party ad tags, including SizeMech and, of course, the GIADC HTML5 ads. It is a 300 by 250 ad size, and it can be static or animated. It also can include video, but it does not expand. And I'll show you examples of it in just a moment here. So the first one is an animated GIF. I'm just going to run through them, and then I'll open up the browser to show you them live. This is what it's going to look like on a mobile phone setting, though. So there's an animated GIF that's available. We've got the GIADC HTML5 animated ad, and I just kind of showed the different screens. When we send this presentation out to you guys, these are actually, if you hover over the images, they're hot links to the ad example itself. So if you want to refer back to that, but I'll also send out links to the example ads if you wanted to show a customer after the session. So this is the HTML5 animated ad. As you can see, you can use 5 different panels here to show the story. Here's an animated third-party tag. This is a double click. Again, this is probably not going to really count for us much. You can see this one's from Ad Choices, but it is still an option, and I think it's a good example of the kind of ad unit we can serve. And then the last one is a nice in-banner video ad. So I'm just going to pull up my live versions to show you guys. Give me 1 second, Brett. All right, so here's the animated GIF ad. Again, it's going to look different since it's on a desktop, but I wanted to show you what the ad unit looks like live. Because of the way this serves too, remember, if you're showing this to a customer, it may not load again. You might actually need to close out your browser to do the example, because this is technically a one-time, showing if you're going to it. So again, this only shows up on the first visit to the mobile site. So as you can see, it's just a nice, clean animated ad, animated GIF. So there's that one. And here's the GIDC HTML5 version. It's a nice clean animation. This is a really nice ad unit right here too. And this will show up very cleanly on a mobile phone setting. I like that there's not a heck of a lot of text in this ad too. It's taking into consideration that it is on a mobile phone, and it's really a nice use of the background space. So I think keep that in mind if you are designing these or working on the design part of it with your customer, and when you're mentioning that during the after sale phase. Here's that third party double click ad for Best Buy. So again, this is also a nice example of here you see some really nice use of rich media that we can provide to our customers. Nice shop now button right there, really clean. And then the last one is the video ad, which is again also really wonderful use of video, and another reason why it's so important to talk about that with our customers. So as you can see, this is a great use of the video. The sound is automatically turned off. The customer can enable that if they want. Just makes it for a more positive user experience. Okay. So those are the examples. Can everyone still hear me okay? It's kind of quiet out there, and I just want to make sure that
yep, we can, I can hear you, Scott.
Okay, terrific. Thank you. All right, so moving on. How to book the first impression ad package. It's going to go under the local.com setting. Your start and end dates are going to be for a single day, since this is a single day sponsorship. So the billing installment will also be for 1 day. In terms of your placement, you want it to be on mobile, and it's going to be a mobile web ROS standard environment. The size is first impression 300 by 250. That should be now built into Order Hub for you. I know that there was some updates. Again, I always suggest this to others. Clear your cookie cache. Whenever we get those Order Hub updates, it's important that you clear the cookies on your browser so that it puts those updates into place before you log onto Order Hub. So again, this is going to be a first impression 300 by 250. It should show up as 0 impressions because it is a day-long serving. It's a sponsorship, and the creative executions will be rich media, and expandable ads are definitely not available. So for this package, and third-party ad tags and HTML5 creative is permitted. It is a cost per day, and we can choose the appropriate business segment for the customer. Again, we've got a nice Word doc with all these instructions to send out to you guys if you have any questions about how to schedule this. Any questions about the first impression mobile ad? Okay.
Hey, Scott, this is Julie.
Hi, Julie.
I've got it full screen, but I still can't really see the Order Hub sample.
It is kind of small, and unfortunately with Skype, it is small. I will send this out to you guys, and it'll be much clearer once you receive the Word doc. So my apologies that it's hard to see the sample there.
Is it telling the cost per day?
It is not, and the thing is, I'm not 100% sure. I did some checking before this presentation. I'll have to go in and look at. It's not on our current rate card at the moment, so I will double check on the cost per day for this. My apologies for not having that beforehand.
Thanks.
But I'll find that out for you as soon as possible. Any other questions? Okay. Well, what we wanted to do is a whiteboard exercise with you guys. Before we start that, is there anyone out there who has a whiteboard they'd like to present to the group? Since we have both Livingston and O&E on the phone together, this is a good opportunity to hear from the entire team. So is there anybody out there that has done a recent needs assessment or a reevaluation of a customer's current campaign that they would like to present as a whiteboard to the team? Anyone? Okay. Well, now's your time to speak up, because again, these are really important parts of your planning, and especially for customers that might be a little bit more of a challenge. I know some of our B2B opportunities, it can be a challenge to figure out what exactly would be a good fit for them, and having these brainstorm sessions can really help you. So we did create a scenario to present to you guys for this exercise. We're going to have open up the mics. We'd like everybody to participate here. Basically what we're doing is just a quick whiteboard for this scenario. I know that we've had a lot of discussion recently on these ad units that we don't normally think about or sell, like rich media, and especially with mobile, native advertising. We've got a lot of products that we can offer our customers. But the important part with whiteboarding is to figure out why it's important to the customers. We can offer them everything under the sun, but really want to hone down our thinking into, well, why is this important? What exactly is the customer's end goal? So with this particular exercise, we're going to go through it, and again, we're going to open it up, to the team to just do a kind of a whiteboard and throw out your ideas for this particular customer. In this particular scenario, Brett, I'm just going to go ahead and read it off because I know this is one that's kind of based on an actual account.
Right.
And so maybe you can add some other detail to this as well. But we have a current advertiser who is a clothing retailer, and this person has been running Facebook ads, and their campaign objective has been driving traffic back to the website, not to their Facebook page, but to their website. They've been getting decent amount of website traffic, and they have noticed some increase in store traffic. The thing is, they're not 100% sure if that advertising on Facebook is actually driving conversions. So what we wanted to do is, for this whiteboard, is are there any other options that we could offer this client to really help them directly increase their sales? But the other part too is that tracking of conversions from the ad campaign. We want to be able to show them an ROI that they feel comfortable with. So with that in mind, what suggestions would you guys make? And what we're looking for is, there are some that seem probably like they're pretty obvious, but we want to know the why behind it. Why would that particular product or suggestion work over others, or as a means to our end, which is directly increasing sales and tracking conversions?
This is Julie. I would think retargeting would work well with that.
Okay, retargeting, sure. What would you suggest for retargeting in this situation? So with retargeting, you've got a couple different options. You've got, what are the two options under retargeting?
Well, I would do, of course, geographic, but then also some age group.
Well, but with retargeting, think about it, you've got two different kinds, you've got web retargeting, which is if they visited the website, then the person will be retargeted. And you've also got search retargeting, correct?
Oh, I would do search, sorry.
Okay. Julie, in that case, though, with doing search, and again, that's a good suggestion, what would be your idea of like the search parameters? Like how would you, it's a clothing retailer, so right. And you're thinking like, how would you go about
people that have been looking maybe at other sites for similar items?
Okay, so you're thinking maybe using some of his competitors as also a means, but is there any other like how would this actually though help him? And again, I'm not poo-pooing any suggestion, but we're trying to help everyone think a little deeper about these thoughts here, or these suggestions. How would maybe that help him track the conversions?
Well, because we would have reporting on it.
Okay.
Hey, Scott, it's Dean.
Dean.
I would put a unique offer as one of the Facebook ads going out. So when you do go back to the website and try and claim that offer, the client can now get an accurate conversion of where it came from, and then do a site retarget on that same person with that same creative going back at that person. This way you can get them coming and get them going, but you can also, with a unique offer that the client doesn't have anywhere else, they certainly will be able to tell if it's working and the conversions and all that good stuff.
Okay. Yeah, that's really good. That's kind of like that's the direction that we were kind of looking for as far as returning on conversions. So, Julie, not saying that anything that you were suggesting was wrong or off or anything like that, and it's not. It's what directly is going to influence. That's going to be good for expanding the targets and the influence for the targets. But putting an offer on Facebook is something that can directly reflect for sales and a return on investment. And then an excellent thing also too is retargeting, whether it's search retargeting, but site retargeting. If we are going in directing traffic to a website back to targeted traffic, and then retargeting that targeted traffic, either from search retargeting or from Facebook. Those are all really good things for conversions. Sorry, Scott, were you going to say
Julie,
something?
I think no, it's okay. Julie, I think with your suggestion though too, what we could do is if search retargeting looked like, once we did a keyword search and see what kind of traffic is actually even realistically generated in that person's geography or geographic area, maybe adding a very specific UTM code to that ad campaign could help, at least in terms of tracking conversions. You know what I mean? So that way we can at least say, okay, we know based on this UTM code, we're able to track that this traffic to the website is coming specifically from this ad unit. So that's at least a way of providing the customer with a conversion track. Not a direct conversion, but it is at least showing the traffic.
Hey, Scott, can I say one thing real quick?
We're also assuming that the client, we just up their spend with retargeting, whether it was site or search, but if they can't up their budget, definitely put an offer on their Facebook, a unique offer, and that way they can at least track to see if it's working if the client can't up their spend at all.
Putting an offer on their Facebook ad is also going to have something a little bit more tangible, because when someone clicks on that offer on Facebook, it automatically emails that specific offer to that person's Facebook, whatever email they've used to set up their Facebook account. So there is some tangible evidence, because they're going to have to show that to someone at the store to get the offer. So there is a little bit more trackable results in that specific situation. So again, good suggestion. Brett, you were going to say something.
Yeah, one other thing that I could say, if we're going to do any type of display, that we could put a click to call on the ad. That's something that we're talking about, kind of brought up in the last couple weeks. That would definitely increase, click-throughs and then probably a conversions if we can have that click-to-call feature on some of the display advertising. And then also talk about having an open discussion with maybe creating a pod and seeing how we can, if possible, set up some metrics for Google Analytics to see what type of what the behavior of that traffic's doing from our campaigns, just to get a little bit more transparency, and then we can understand the behavior of maybe where we need to optimize our efforts for, whether it be certain keywords on search retargeting, or talking to the client about their website and their landing page or their sales pages and trying to optimize those, seeing what the balance rate is, all those things. So, but go ahead, Scott.
I was just saying, let's open it up now to everybody too. So we'd like to hear some more suggestions. So thank you, Julie. Thank you, Dean, for throwing out those suggestions. They're very good ones. So what else besides maybe some retargeting or some Facebook offers would we be able to offer this customer, guys? Anybody else? Anybody out there? Can you guys still hear me okay?
Hi, this is Libby. I guess you could do some different kind of display stuff too, just for staying relevant and staying in front of the customer, and just maybe like a monthly thing, or if they want to do like a high impact once a month, or just do a certain amount of mobile impressions every month just to stay in front of the audience. Because if it's a clothing store and even if it's just a certain age group that they're targeting, other people shop for those age groups. So it might be good just to stay in front of a larger audience.
That's a great suggestion. And you explained it very well as to why, that's a good suggestion. So thanks. That's perfect. Anybody else, guys? There's an option that I'm seeing in my mind that would be really good for a clothing retailer, especially someone who has a very visual presence. Clothing is trendy.
A video maybe.
Very good suggestion. Video would make sense in this case. I think being a clothing retailer is staying on top of trends and showing a customer that you've got specific kinds of clothing that is stylish or whatever. So having that visual aspect like that, a video might be a really good suggestion. Sally, what else do you think?
Maybe some pay-per-click.
Okay. Now, with pay-per-click, what are you thinking, like, in terms of, like,
Keywords, you mean?
yeah, like, what would you think, just off the top of your head? Again, we'd have to do an audit and check the keyword planner, just to see. But what do you think off the top of your head might be, like, a common search that someone might do for clothing? I mean,
Men's suits.
so, like, a specific, like, so if you think, like, someone, might be, colder weather's coming, so maybe looking at
I have a
jackets
clothing
or suits.
retailer, and he sells a lot of Calvin Klein suits, and
Okay.
some of the designer suits people search for. They compare prices on those suits at different locations.
Okay. Now, in terms of the customer's goals, so tracking conversions, do you think that pay-per-click's going to be a good option then for them?
I don't know. I think it's possible. It might.
Well, if you look at our dashboard, I mean, we've got, we can track those leads that are coming in through PPC pretty
Right.
readily. So it's a nice visual to show your customer, here's the leads that have been generated, here's the number of clicks. I mean, there is at least some option there that you're going to be able to show the customer some evidence of the tracking that's going on with the campaign.
Right. And some of these people look for tailoring. That these men's stores, some of them, they want to get, make sure that they have tailoring available as well as just selling the clothing. So.
Okay. All right. Good
I have
option.
a question.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm off topic, but if we did a video on the mobile site, the capturing, the every person visiting the site, is that the sort of thing that they're going to ding us for? Is that the thing that they're saying that they don't like because you're taking over the page, or am I off?
Well, actually, no, you bring up a good point, and that actually, when they released the information about the first impression mobile ad, there was an additional message about starting in January of 2017 is when Google is going to be looking more objectively at ad units, particularly for mobile, that cover a page. Now, our team is actually already looking at what options we're going to use once that takes place. And in essence, it's just a matter that Google wants, again, its users to have the most positive experience possible. And if they're getting feedback that ads that are covering an entire page or are a little bit more interactive are more distracting and causing a negative user experience, then they're going to just kind of look at how ultimately that's not a great thing. Now, there are some things that are going to be accepted. And there's actually a whole article about that. But in the meantime, I wouldn't necessarily worry for immediate ad units. This is something that Google is going to be working on for next year, starting in January. And again, our team will be looking at some additional options that are going to help really make sure that we're conforming with these new changes. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Okay, so with this exercise, anybody else? We've got, a few more minutes here, and we really want to make sure that we're using our whiteboard time right. So does anybody have any suggestions else or any other suggestions for this customer? I know you've all had customers like this situation, so okay. All right, kind of quiet. Brett, what do you think? Anything else you want to cover with
everything
this?
that we were talking about previously, as far as putting some calls to action on. I think if they're just talking about display, in my mind, I'm thinking about the features that we have either for rich media or whatnot. So we can put call tracking, we can put a click to call, we can put a downloadable PDF for downloading a coupon, putting the coupon on the display ad. Some interactive elements, anything to increase engagement and just maybe the awareness of some deals or opportunities that the client's trying to convey to their customer base. And just reviewing all the format, all the features that we have on Rich Media or the display to increase those click-through rates, but more or less the conversions, and then putting some plan together, talk with Laura and Jeannie about a pod discussion about what we could do and possibly Nick. I know that's kind of in the future, but I still want to get everyone thinking about implementing or having the conversation with Google Analytics. Every time that we go in there now with a client, if I'm going in, I'm always asking about Google Analytics. It really gives you credibility too. It's good for credibility and for trust, but it's more importantly in the long term going to be good for just this type of conversation, conversions, and understanding not only website behavior but their actual customer base behavior. So yeah.
Right. We have because that's a really good point about for the rich media, making sure that we, lay out all of the different options and functions that we have available to us to get those conversions. Is there a good sale? I haven't seen a really good sales edge other than ones in the trainings that we've just done, the slides.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything?
There's not really one created that I'm aware of, other than like you had mentioned what was on the slides that we've had.
Help their
presentation.
Now I can remember 4 or 5, but there's like 10 or 12 different ones that we have that we can roll off our tongues, and I think that would help the reps if we could have a slide with that has all of that. So I will get to work on that. I'll see if Toya can do something for us, and that might just kind of the features, the benefits of rich media, and all the different things that we can do.
Jeannie, I think we might be able to pull something from Drew's presentation as well. I think he did have a slide with all the different options, so maybe it's just a matter of reformatting that.
Yeah, I think it's just the options. So I think we can get to work on that. If you guys are done, I have a couple things I'd like to say. So.
Yep. Thank you, though. Thanks.
You guys done?
Yep.
Yeah, we're all set. Unless anybody else wants to add anything further.
No, we're good.
All right, nice job, you guys. I mean, guys, we really need participation on this call. I had to step away and take a phone call, so I wasn't on for the whole thing. But this is spot on training. It's getting interaction. It's helping you spit the lyrics out. Libby did a nice job just rolling through it. Right or wrong, you're not wrong. This is an environment that's safe and judgment-free. We want to help you, and that's the whole goal of these things. So please participate. And so we'll just continue to do these in our sales meetings. We've got so many products and so many things rolling off the cart right now, and we just need to take it to the next level. So with that, I hope everybody's ready to go for your Q4 reviews. You guys have done an excellent job. You've made all of us proud every time you've done them. I just want to add a couple things to make sure they're in, your discussions and your material that you're going to read out on. As you know, I've been mentioning territory packages. We're going to put goals behind territory packages. We're going to prep and plan with you and take a look at your assignments and pick out who fits into a territory package. We're going to move any of our rate proposals that are out there into territory packages. So this is going to be a big deal. And I've been asking the other markets, who's your sales star on territory packages? So I've got some people who are out there executing them right now, doing a very good job. And I think I'm going to have them come in as well as just do some additional training on them. I'd like everybody for P9, if everyone could try to get a couple proposals out there and get one on the books by the, even just the proposals and being able to try them. So pick one that P9 you're going to focus on. And then we're going to set a goal, just so you know, and I want you to start preparing a pipeline and be able to discuss it a little bit. We're going to ask for 2 territory package sales a month. Okay, so we're going to really want to target who are we going to go after. Some of these people that you've already got some higher level digital sales, would it benefit them to do a territory package, especially in both markets that we're coming in at tier 4. So I want you to be thinking about that, have some sort of a pipeline started, and then also make sure that you have in your plan that you're going to continue to grow your desk, your percent of digital to accounts, and your percent of digital to your total revenue. So know where you were last year and where you are, how you ended Q3 Did you improve? Why didn't you? Why did you? And then where are you at % of digital to your total revenue? And then churn. We've got some new commission reports that are coming out now. They're not in the same format, but it's a nice format to look at the churn year over year for the period. So I need you in your one-on-ones with your managers to review those and look at the people that didn't come in that were running last year and how can we get those back. That should be part of your strategy as well. So that can help you in your quarterly plans to move things through the system, add new people, and really, get into the process of continuing to prospect, continuing to cultivate, and move things through your system in Salesforce. And when you're doing that, everything really looks good and the numbers all add up really well. So if any of you want to role play or do anything with myself, today's a good day. We can roll through it. I'm available. I've got a few calls today set up, but other than that, I'm very, willing to help. So, and then also make sure you're adding in, what am I going to do for digital, targeted and mobile impressions? How am I going to do that? So is there a question? I think there's a question.
Yeah, Janie, yesterday, this is Julie, when we were in the meeting, we were going through the the calculator for the territory packages.
Yeah.
And it doesn't clarify if it's zone, paper. We have no idea what that is. Is that going to be put in there, or how do we know?
We're just weird at O&E, Julie. So we have to alter and change and stuff like that. Let me double check with Tina on that. I'll try to get an answer for you guys by next Wednesday for the meeting. If I get it earlier than that, then fantastic, I'll get it out to you. But the way I understand it is how many times it's going to run, and you pick where it's going to go. So
would it be one paper like Northville Novi, or because there would be, it was going to be a super great deal if it was a whole zone, but we couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do because only we're taking a pretty big step back on the print, which I'm absolutely fine because that gives you guys a lot of room to add in digital, and you're not jacking